Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So I want to do a quick video because I realized I haven't been on it a little bit, and excuse me, even though I know that I don't have millions of followers, who wouldn't want to have millions of followers? Um, I'm still very honored to have the people who follow this channel. Even if it's one person, that's valuable. Like, I've always had the policy that, like, if I do a Bible study or something like that and one person shows up and that's the person who God wanted to show up, then that's a blessing, and you should do that Bible study just as well as if 15 people had showed up, because that's the person God wants you to speak to. And hey, you don't know. If you want to talk about numbers, maybe that person will be the next Billy Graham. But anyway, so I figured I'd just do this video, talk about life, kind of explain to people where my life has been, and also talk a little bit about what I'm planning with this YouTube channel, where it's going. And yes, I have a hotel room in the background. And yes, this is a different hotel room from the one in some of my other videos. And there's a reason for that. Um, so I was living and working just outside of New Jersey, or sorry, just outside of New York City in New Jersey during the whole COVID thing. Um, Not really sure I should share this on video, but I'm going to do it anyway. I could see the Manhattan skyline right outside my window. Um, and it was gorgeous. And you know what? There were days where you actually couldn't see it. It would be all foggy and all misty out, and you wouldn't even know there was a city on the other side of all that fog. Um, and I'm sure there's some kind of metaphor there. Like, and I just think it's so interesting. You have this huge thing, something as big as Manhattan, all those buildings, and you have a little bit of fog, not even a lot, and it looks like there's just sky. It looks like, you see New Jersey and then you just see sky. And you don't even realize that, no, that's fog. And behind that is one of the greatest cities the human beings have ever built. And it's right there, right on the other side of that fog. Um, no idea what that's a metaphor for, but it would make for a great metaphor. And so now I moved back to my hometown after that for just a little bit, while I looked for more work, because COVID was not a COVID basically started to die down, and it's not just because of the vaccines. It's going to also be because of natural immunity. And I don't want to go into that too much just because I don't want YouTube to say, oh, well, something you said, our fact checkers didn't like it, even if it's something with me quoting the CDC or quoting, some of the top virologists in the world and being like, oh, well, Joe Schmo over in fact checking at YouTube, doesn't agree because he read something from CNN or Bill Nye the Science Guy or some, idiot source. Um, so for right now, I'm not going to go super into it. Just to say that basically, it's a big wave of COVID. There was a lot of COVID, and then things started dying down. And being a contract worker, being a traveler, I made a lot of money. But um, all good things, maybe not all good things, but a lot of good things come to an end. And it was a good thing as a temporary thing. I was going nuts being in New Jersey. I did not like it there. I made all of like three friends for most of the time I was there, um, until one of the last few nights I was there. A friend introduced me to a bunch of other friends, and I was like, gosh, these would have been some great people to hang out with the entire time I was here. And so I got two people watching right now. So if you want to leave a comment, by all means. I think this is great. I love it when, people watch me live. Um, and like I said, it don't have to be a million people. It's just whoever God wants here. So now I am in Florida because I found work. And it's good money. Um, not enough money for me to live frivolously, not enough money for me to go crazy, but enough money for me to get by. And the unfortunate thing, though, is all of the apartments that I'm seeing are really expensive, and most are just a bit outside of my price range. Um, so definitely use prayer for that. I did put an offer in on a condo today with a realtor and see what happens with that. But be praying for that because I will be I'll be doing graduate school online um, while I'm working full time. So it's going to be a lot. And I have friends talking to me about possibly doing side gigs. Um, and I have work talking to me about possibly doing overtime. And apparently, overtime is going to be mandatory sometimes. So it's going to be something. So with my YouTube channel, my paycheck is going to be cutting it close. I am talking with a few people right now about editing the large video project I've been working on since 2017. I did not expect it to take this long. I expected it to just be a little 10-minute video that took me maybe a month. But I wrote out the script and realized there was a lot of things I had to say. And so I have people who are going to be helping me put together the stock footage, going to be helping me with the editing. So they're going to be helping me with a lot. And it's going to be a lot on my plate. I'll have to work overtime here and there, but my main focus is going to be on working and on school. And school will have to be the number one thing. Because I want to go forward with my education. Because that matters to me. So I just basically wanted to kind of let my audience know, hey, I'm human. And this is what I'm up to. I'm also exploring the idea of having someone caption my YouTube videos for me. There's a woman from another country who I've talked to. She's turned out to be she's an honest person. I actually got some Swahili lessons from her, and she's a really good friend. She's a nice person. She's married, has children, and I think she's great. And I would like to hire her to do some captioning for my YouTube videos. And this would help out on a number of levels. This would help not only people who are deaf and hard of hearing. It would also help because Google could translate those captions into various languages. The translation algorithms might be iffy, but they'd be there. And it also would mean that the YouTube search algorithms would have a better would be able to be better at looking at my videos. So if they look at a video that's on, if they look at one of my videos that talks about Neanderthals, for example, people would be able to look at that and the YouTube algorithms would be able to look at that and say, well, he talked about Neanderthals, he talked about Neanderthal flute, he talked about this artifact, that artifact, and then that could show up more often in the algorithms. So that's something that I want to do. So it's that and finishing this third installment of the Noah's Flood series. And this third installment is much longer than the others. It's probably going to be about 3 hours long. So I'm going to be uploading it as a full documentary, a 3-hour documentary. and also breaking up into parts, breaking it up into chapters, and breaking up into clips from those chapters even. So, like, for example, one section talks about dinosaurs and talks about how um, it'll talk about how dinosaurs support Noah's flood. And in part of that, I talk about what are called winged serpents, from which are basically an animal from history that was described by many historians, but it just doesn't make sense in terms of our very modern concept of the way natural history is supposed to work. And these animals, they sound like they could be pterosaurs. So they could have been basically flying reptiles, basically like smaller versions of pterodactyls. And these creatures apparently lived right alongside human beings. So Josephus talks about them, Herodotus talks about them, historians from, even just a few centuries ago talk about them. So there's a lot of very well-respected historians who mention these creatures. And they sound very much like pterosaurs. Now, maybe they're not. Maybe there's something else. And maybe they are actually something like a snake, but with wings. So you have to keep all things, you have to consider all possibilities. And you have to say, well, what does this objectively prove? And I go a lot into geology. I talk about um, how when we look at different rock layers in the geologic column, they're very smooth. And if they're very smooth like that, then why don't we see? It's just not what you would expect if they were laid down slowly and gradually over the course of millions of years. So I talk about a lot of things. I talk about polystriate fossils, which is, of course, a classic creationist argument. I talk about genetics. Genetics is one of the last things that I talk about. I talk about evidence that is in the mainstream literature that we all go back to one woman, and I also quote the mainstream literature showing that if you look at the mutation rates for human mitochondria, that puts mitochondrial Eve, as they call her, as being from around 6,000 years ago. Now I go into way more detail on all of this, so part of me if I'm simplifying things a little bit, part of me if I'm kind of skimming over quite a lot, but I talk a lot about in this. I talk about a lot in this video. I'm talking about flood legends from several cultures around the world, places that'll talk about Noah and how he, built this boat to survive the floods and by either God or the gods, and it's a lot of very interesting stuff and stuff that I'm working on. And part of me, if I'm absolutely exhausted tonight, I took my sleeping medicine already about 2 hours ago, and I just feel a little too tense to actually sleep. So yeah, that's basically the update. I'm very nervous because I don't have time to work on this project a lot. So my hope was that with a 40-hour work week, and with a good paycheck, that I might be able to get a good deal on an apartment. But right now the apartments are so high, and pretty much everything requires a 1-year lease. I've tried roommates.com to try to see if there was something a little better, and wasn't working out. Let's put it like, in roommates.com, it's a terrible website, at least in my opinion. Sorry, but I don't like it. So basically that's what I'm up to, is trying to juggle life, trying to juggle a lot of things, and I'm just really hoping and praying that I'm able to do everything that I want to do. And this video project might have to take a back seat. If people do want to donate, that's fine, or that'd be great. That'd be wonderful. I would thank you so much. And if people want to volunteer who maybe have technical skills or maybe who just have an eye for going through stock footage, which is most of what I need, is just people taking stock footage and being like, well, Greg said clam fossil, and now here's stock footage, and we're going to go through and find some clam fossils. Or Greg said pterodactyl, we're going to go find some pictures of pterodactyls. And the pictures that look good, like if you say T-Rex, you want Jurassic Park. You don't want Barney the Magic Dinosaur, because you want people to take these videos seriously. And that's something I do get frustrated. I've seen Christians out there who who seem like they mean well, but they just produce very low quality content, and they just make Christians look stupid because they don't care, and they don't care about quality. And then they're like, well, God uses the foolish things of this world. It's like, yes, but you can use a better font than that. You can use better illustrations than that. There's free illustrations out there that are way better than what you're using. So it's God using the foolish things of this world is not an excuse for laziness. It is not an excuse for low quality. So it looks like I got 4 people watching. Anybody who wants, feel free to leave something in the chat if you want to. If you don't want to, you don't have to. But if you want to give a shout out or ask a question, by all means. So basically, that's where I'm at. Is I have this project that I really want to work on, and I also want to hire. I also want to hire this friend to do captions. So there's a lot of things that, and this is somebody I've hired for other online stuff before. So this is somebody who I know can work. This is somebody who I know has a strong work ethic, and isn't just going to take the money and run. So this is where I'm at. I'm juggling a lot of things, not sure how things are going to work out. Just kind of afraid of what tomorrow's going to bring, even though Jesus says, don't worry about tomorrow, let tomorrow worry about itself. So I'm just not sure what's going to happen. That's why so many of my projects are in limbo, and even the last week or so, my online classes that I'm taking to prepare myself for a lot of these graduate classes, they're kind of on hold too. So let's pray for the projects, guys. Pray for this all to work out well. If you're in Florida, feel free to give me a shout out. And yeah, anyway. By the way, I just want to say I thank those of you who really support my channel and, pray for me, pray for my projects, who share my content online. This video is really for you. This video is not really something I intended for somebody who is new to my channel. This is for people who aren't just fans, they're supporters. They're people who say, Greg, I'm really glad for what you're doing, and I hope you keep going forward with this. I hope you keep doing well. That's who I'm making this video for. And maybe I need to start making more videos like this. It might be a while before I get some real content out here again, but I'm hoping the content I get out is going to be, I'm hoping the content that I publish from here on out is going to be a lot higher quality than some of what I've done in the past. Like, you look at some of my videos from way back when, I mean, they were what they were. I have videos talking about, the RNA world hypothesis, and it's just it's pictures that I drew on in Paint or in some program along those lines. I mean, it's not something that's meant to be super over the top in quality. But now, as I've progressed as an artist, I have the opportunities to do a lot better. Because of Pixabay, especially, I have a lot of stock footage that I can go through. And for images where Pixabay doesn't quite work, I'm working on getting custom footage. For this video, I talk about clam fossils. Finding clam fossils was surprisingly difficult. So finding images of clam fossils was tough. So what I did is I ordered actual clam fossils, and I made videos talking about that. And I've taken pictures, and those pictures are going to be for this documentary project. I talk about dinosaurs, and so I'm trying to take pictures of dinosaurs at museums, and I'm also buying models and using those to make dioramas, to take pictures. And I've talked a little bit about dioramas in some of my other videos. So, and if I do say so myself, they're coming out quite well. So they're coming out better than some of the stuff you see that you see in a lot of places, actually. So, yeah, I've got a lot going on. If there's anything anybody wants to say in the comments section, feel free. Or in the live chat, whatever you want to call it, feel free. But yeah, I really appreciate those of you who have got my back, who said, "Hey, Greg, we support what you do. We're happy about what you do. Please keep going." Because there's been a lot of times where I've said, "Hey, is this YouTube channel worth it? Is there any point to this?" And then you have people come along, they're like, "I saw your YouTube video. It really helped me." I had a friend, I had somebody I met, he didn't live in New Jersey. He lived, in kind of the country outskirts of New York City in New York. And he told me that some of my videos really helped him. I've had a lot of people talk to me about my videos over the years. My what have we lost video? It's just a little thing I threw together in outside of a dorm room. I was studying with a friend one day. We're sitting at some tables in a study lounge outside, in a dorm building, and I just talked about some of those issues of a lack of male intimacy in modern society, and people loved it. A lot of people said they could really relate to it. A lot of people said it really impacted them and helped them. So, yeah, I've got a lot going on, and I'm just hoping that when I do get an apartment, it'll be a good deal. It'll be a good apartment. I'm not sure if I'd be able to do the roommate thing. I'm starting to think I might be a little too old for that. I might not have the right personality for that. I might clash with the other person a little bit much. Be a little particular, but we'll see. We'll see. And I can definitely say I've been praying like crazy. I've prayed multiple times today. Lord, close the doors you want closed and open the doors you want open. And I've prayed for wisdom. I've prayed for discernment. And I've also prayed for God to give me supernatural knowledge, to see things that aren't, that I might not have picked up on just from being a human being with wisdom. So, anyway, thank you everyone for taking the time to watch this video. If you would like to subscribe to my email newsletter, go to greenslug.com. And remember, slug is spelled with 2 G's. So it's a GREENSLUG. greenslugg.com. So green slug, but slug is spelled with 2 G's.com. If you go there, you can sign up for my email newsletter, and when I produce new content, it will be sent right. It'll be sent out to you. So when I write a new article, when I create a new video, and even when I create other types of content, when I'm on other people's channels or something like that. But I won't be sending you emails constantly. I reserve the email newsletter for when I make new content. Now, if you would like to see something from me every day, I also have a Facebook author page. So you can go to Facebook. Let's see. Go to Facebook. There's a GS Muse author page. So that's G.S.MUSE. And so that's basically an author page. Right as of now, I have a little green slug on there, and he's like a little Pokemon style cartoon character that I had somebody draw on Fiverr. And by the way, I'll probably be using Fiverr a lot for this video project I'm working on now. But anyway, thank you for taking this time to watch this video. I think I'm going to be done for now. I'm going to go to bed, try to get some sleep, because I've got a long day tomorrow. Peace out, everyone.